keeps ticking. 10 days since Kevin Patullo got the old heave-ho. Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni continue the search for Patullo's replacement, and they're casting a wide net.
Wide.
Very wide. To pinpoint the right person for a critical job within the Eagles organization. Huddle up. Friday night edition of Birds Huddle presented by Toyota, up and running. Of course, Toyota, official automotive partner of the NFL. Barrett Brooks, Michael Barkan, Double B, the Eagles seemingly taking their time with this offensive coordinator search. 1, 10 days ago, did you think the job would be filled by now? And 2, there are 5 teams that have yet to name even a head coach. Are you okay with the pace that this search is taking?
Absolutely. You got to take your time. You got to make sure you cross every T, dot every I. I mean, there might be a coach they want to get from one of the 4 teams that's playing right now, so you don't know what direction they're going. I'm good with that. Take your time. Make sure you get the best guy here. Not the best candidate, but the best guy to get along with Jalen, number 1, get along with Nick, number 2, and can run an offense that's effective, number 3.
Is there a point at which you would say, this is getting late early, we got to move this along? How much longer do you think this should take?
Well, at this point, we're used to playing deep into the playoffs, what I'm saying? So we're not usually off right now. We're usually practicing and getting stuff done right now. But, hey, since we're not, we got a little time.
Yeah, not till July, but a little. Tonight's three-point stance presented by Toyota. Stance number 1, Bobby Slowik is a strong candidate for the Eagles' offensive coordinator position. The Birds reportedly interviewed Slowik today. The 38-year-old ran the Dolphins' passing game this past season. He spent the 2023 and 24 seasons as the Texans' offensive coordinator and play caller. He comes from the Kyle Shanahan coaching tree, coached under Shanahan in San Francisco from 2017 to 2022. Barrett, neither Houston nor Miami were near the top of the rankings on offense. With Slowik in charge, could they do better than Bobby Slowik as the Eagles' offensive coordinator?
I assume that you said since their 2 top candidates are out of the fold, they're going somewhere else. I believe he's more than capable of going in to do it. I mean, he helped when he was with the Texans, make C.J. Stroud Rookie of the Year. So he can call it offensive effectively. He doesn't have the weapons that, those teams had also. There's definite bona fide weapons here. We're talking about 2 great receivers. We got to find a tight end. We get this offensive line healthy and get them back going. He'll be able to play call and have a plethora of things he can go through as far as getting effective offense. I like him. I wouldn't mind having him here. And with him being in Miami, taking a little bit of, the motion and stuff like that and adding it to what the Eagles are doing, I think this could be a match made in heaven. I mean, everybody, that we've seen that have played underneath him, they love him. So, this is an opportunity for the Eagles to just take their time, bring him in, see if he does get along with Jalen Hurts, see if he does get along with Nick, what type of spirit did he bring to that locker room? That's the biggest thing. He has to be a fit. And I think the Eagles have done a nice job of bringing in guys that fit what they're trying to do as a whole. You got to be a part of the gold standard to come here.
Here's another point as we move to stance number 2. No play calling experience? No problem. Experience as an NFL play caller isn't mandatory for the Eagles' next offensive coordinator. Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman have taken chances on unproven coaches before, both head coaches and coordinators. Barrett, your thoughts on the Eagles potentially hiring a first-time NFL play caller as their next OC?
They've done it before, and I believe they'll do it again. We're talking about a team that they go out on a limb to get the unsexy pick. It started off with I think even Ray Rhodes. Ray Rhodes wasn't a popular pick when they first brought him in, even though he made the greatest pick ever. The 3rd guy he ever drafted was this offensive lineman out of Kansas State. So he did a pretty good job of that, But, look, from and then went to Andy Reid. Andy Reid wasn't a sexy pick, as a head coach. Went to, Doug Peterson. Mm-hmm. Doug Peterson wasn't, a guy everybody was raving about. Then he went to Nick Sirianni. The Eagles are used to going in and getting guys and molding guys into their system. And, I would love it. The relationship has to develop between him, between the quarterback, even the GM, and also the head coach. This has got to be a trifecta. We've got to get all guys on the same page because we can't have what we had last year. You know, we've got to have an effective offense, and somebody's going to call plays to set up other plays. And that's exactly what he did while in Miami. Yes, Michael McDaniel was the guy that, you know, got everything running around and, you know, and calling plays like that. But he is a run-centered guy. He's not going to abandon the run. But he's a passing game coordinator, so he's going to get that innovative passing attack going here in Philadelphia. So is he somebody I would, you know, trust coming in? I guess I would, you know, think to go on slow. But, I mean, I like them to have a guy that can come in and just have a great relationship. You don't have to call plays before. We saw, you know, even Nick Sirianni didn't call really the plays, but he became a great coach.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can see that. I can see us doing it.
I'll tell you what, just remember the picture in our minds of 4th and 11 with seconds left in the game, and those three guys, on the sidelines going, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? And not coming up with an adequate play, and the game done right there.
I know. Let me tell you, man. I tell people all this all the time. You know, my 4th year in the NFL, I'm playing with the Eagles. And I promise you, a guy named Bill Musgrave was on an NFL roster, and he got cut. Came to the Eagles as an offensive assistant. And halfway through the season, Bill Musgrave was our offensive coordinator. So you really don't need to, you know, have a lot of experience doing it, just as long as you're good at it. Now, I'll preface this by saying we went 3-13.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But still.
Small point.
But still, you know, Bill Musgrave
ruined the story.
You know, he turned out to be a pretty good, you know, coach, pretty good play caller, you know, and had a pretty good coaching career. You know, he's probably still coaching now. Really good, you know, really good guy. So, I mean, you don't have to be an offensive play caller. You can learn to be a play caller.
Yeah.
Learn that.
Well, maybe they bring in Phillip Rivers. I mean, you just don't. Oh, hold on now. Our third stance tonight. Dallas could raid the roster. Yes. New Cowboys defensive coordinator Christian Parker might pick the Eagles defense to the bone. Free agents Jalen Phillips, Nakobe Dean, Reed Blankenship, among others, could be targets for Christian Parker. These are guys he's familiar with from his time spent on the Eagles coaching staff. They're players who know the system Parker wants to install in Dallas. Barrett, this has got to be at least a little concerned, yes?
No, it's very concerning because he's going to go with familiarity. He's going to go with guys that helped him, you know, be a coach that, you know, got a job as a defensive coordinator for a team. So, no, why wouldn't you go get into Kobe Dean? Somebody you know and trust, somebody that's really good at his job. They just can't afford to keep him here because you got a first rounder and a guy you already paid at the linebacker position. But going out and getting a guy like Reed Blankenship, who has the experience of running what he wants to run, who was the glue in that defense in the secondary, who got guys on the same page that everybody trusted. You know, we've seen that happen before as far as coaches going out and taking players. You know, I mean, I look at it. Jonathan Gannon went out and got, you know, took Josh Sweat and Kazir White with him to Arizona. Also, he also took Nick, Reyes?
Yep.
Reyes? He brought him as a defensive coordinator, and the Eagles were pretty mad about that. Then I look at Kellen Moore. He did the same thing. He took Doug Nussmeier as an offensive coordinator. Taking guys is what you do. You know, you take the players that you're most familiar with and the coaches you're most familiar with. So he could take some coaches also.
Will the Eagles covet those free agents on defense anymore now because Parker's in Dallas and they don't want to see them go to Dallas and see him twice a year? Would they have a better chance now staying in Philadelphia?
I think that could be a possibility, especially with a guy like, you know, Blankenship. Mm-hmm. He would definitely be somebody that I want to keep.
He's a captain.
Exactly, a captain. Then you got to look at a guy like Nakobe Dean, who's also good at what he does, is breaking down film and seeing where he needs to be and using every single amount of film and tape to be the best player he can be. Both of those guys are captain champion, you know, championships. They're champions, number one, but they're good at getting guys in the right position and playing off each other. So that's definitely a possibility, you know, that he can go in and pillage our whole locker room.
That prospect leaves me cold.